friends, welcome to another edition of Minimal Monday wrap-up number 73 this week. First, before I do this at the end of the video again, there is no, here's a little service announcement. There is no Minimal Monday next week, May 6th, 13th, or 20th. So do not post any images. I probably will not see them. I will probably be too busy drinking beer and eating awesome food back home because I'm going back to Belgium for 2 weeks. So keep your images like we talked about last week until the 27th. And yeah, that's going to be one heck of a wrap up. That's my prediction. That's how I think things are going to go down. With you guys saving up all your awesome images that you can now work for 3 weeks without you can think about this. Anyways, in other news, I have a little announcement to make, which is kind of exciting news for me personally, but moving forward, my work will be represented by a gallery, namely the Ian Tan Gallery in Vancouver. And if you kind of go down in my stream a little bit on Google Plus, excuse me, you will see that I was preparing a portfolio. So I went down there last Monday, and yeah, we had a very fruitful encounter with the gallery owner and the director of the gallery, and I now have artist gallery representation, which is pretty wicked. Very proud to say that, and I'm very, very happy and kind of a little bit scared too. But anyways, we'll see how it goes, and yeah, go from there, I guess. So this week, I am going to show you 10 images and 3 exceptions. So yeah, let's get this thing on the road, shall we? My Fav of the Day award this week again goes to Martin Rack. The image that he produced this week, or at least submitted this week, is absolutely stunning. It's a trio of trees, and I believe Martin called this image, this photograph, the dancers. Now you can see why. I mean, beautiful tones, just the contrast is spot on. Like, yeah, the black, almost silhouettes of the foreground trees with the gently sloped, snow on the bottom of it, and then the shallow depth of field, the fog, like all elements, like the composition of it, all elements came together in this one, and this is an absolutely stunning photograph. Yeah, I mean, this is top-notch work, Martin. This is absolutely beautiful, and I'm jealous because I wish this was in my portfolio. Anyways, beautiful composition, and I'm super proud that Martin is choosing to show the world his work through my little humble team. I very much appreciate it, and wow, I feel very lucky that artists like Martin, do what they do and share, with us little people too. Anyways, beautiful work. Thank you for posting this, Martin, and yeah, keep up the awesome work. Thank you. A close second though came from Deepak. Gosh, again, I'm really attracted to geometry in images, and yeah, this is a prime example of using lines and contrast to your advantage. I mean, it's a nice square and all, and rule of thirds are basically kind of being used. Um, an amazing sky, a little dark to my taste, but that's fine. You don't have to make nobody needs to make photographs or submit photographs that they're made for me. It doesn't matter. You make photographs for yourself, and this is a prime example of somebody that is, Deepak is following his vision, following his heart, and does it, the way he sees it, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's the way it should be, I think. Um, Good image. I love the idea of the diagonals in there too. Um, Good long exposure, beautiful work, Deepak. A very similar image, well, not really similar, but came from Grand Murray this week. Long exposure. Grand is going dark. um, love the processing in this, like especially in the foreground sand and the light curve. Uh, it's absolutely perfect processing. Love the detail in the foreground sand. The sky's a little dark for me, but again, same remark. I mean, you're not making photographs for me, you're making photographs for yourself. And if that is, your style, your vision, the way you see the world, absolutely nothing wrong with that. Um, all in all, it's a prime example of how you can use tones or blacks to reduce the overall, call it busyness, not business, busyness, like how visually an image, you know, reduce the distracting elements. That's what I'm trying to say, and using dark tones, it's a good way to kind of hide stuff, hide elements. If you do that in post production, or if you do that in pre exposure, your how you light meter or how you meter the light is all up to you. There's no right or wrong. Strong vision, I think. Good image. Grand, again, using the rule of thirds. Placing the horizon on the bottom 1/3 of the image. Good job, Grand. Beautiful. And again, here's another darkie by Quincy Jefferson of the haystacks, or whatever they're called. Needle, no, I don't know. Anyways, Oregon coast. Same idea, it's basically reducing the tonality, basically. Well, no, that was wrong. There's a lot of tonality, there's a lot of contrast in this image, but Quincy's vision of this was a very dark one, and by simply using those dark tones, Quincy kind of eliminated a lot of the distracting patterns in the sand almost. It feels like I've seen this image before by him. It's probably out of the same series. It's very similar to another image you've posted, but still, I like it. So that's good. Here's an interesting photograph by Sandra Pilo. A vertical. You don't see that too often, but what I like about this is it was a good choice of Sandra to go for a vertical format. Obviously, because of the shape of the trees, they already almost dictate a vertical movement of the eye. So why don't you go with it and turn that camera 90 degrees. Also, processing is pretty good, I think, leaving a pathway, a visual pathway towards the trees. Again, that kind of stimulates your eye going up in the vertical, you know, um, the eye moves up, basically, right? And I love the just gentle slope of the hill too. Good, good. Good sky too. Good work, Sandra. Thanks again for supporting this little theme. What about this one, by the way? Benoit Janssen Renault. He recently came back from Japan. Lucky Benoit. Because I think for a lot of us minimalists, Japan is definitely it's going to be on the bucket list. For some reason, there's stuff out there that is so minimal or so almost untouched by nature. Of course, this is man-made, untouched by man. I mean, and of course, this is man-made, but still, it looks very abandoned. It looks. I have no idea what these are. Probably just some loops sticking out of concrete blocks to make some type of barrier. And then after the takedown or something, they just were left there or whatever. I have no idea what this is. It's an interesting image to see Benoit trying to find a composition that kind of find order and chaos. Kind of that was definitely the exercise here. So good. It's an interesting. It tells a little story. I think I have no idea what these are, and I can only guess. But good long exposure, great processing, beautiful detail in the concrete blocks, and nice water gradients, and not a good sky tone, nice gradient there too. Definitely not a heavy image, but a good one. I like this. Here's another long exposure photograph, probably also made in Japan. This one is by David Orr. I know David lives there, and definitely David is also a minimalist. So, that's what David does, minimalism. This is awesome, I think. Once you can. Where would I start? All right. This is a beautiful diagonal composition. Period. Now, it's interesting to see. For me, it's kind of has a little negative undertone, because of the way the diagonal goes. For David, probably it's the other way around. Now, why am I saying this is, in our Western society, if we think of positive things, a line will go up. So in our Western society, we read from left to right. So our diagonal, if it was going from bottom left to top right, it would have a positive impact. So if you flip this image around on its vertical axis, for us it would have a positive tone. Now doing it the other way around, top left to bottom right, the diagonal goes down, and that kind of gives you a negative sense for us Westerners. It implies negative ideas, at least it does with me. And if David, with the darker sky on this, the drama in this photograph, all the very minimal. There's ocean or water, 2 rocks, sky, 4 elements, right? And visually, you could almost, say that no, it's about the relationship between the two rocks. That's what this image is about. Um, for us, it would be kind of a negative, kind of, two people growing apart or going their separate ways or along those lines. Now, for David, living in Japan, it's the total opposite. Japanese people, as far as I know, read from right to left or something, or, you know, their diagonal would be reversed too. So having a diagonal from top left or bottom right to top left for them is a positive thing. So maybe David can shed some light on that in the comments. But that's kind of how I interpret this image, which is always interesting, apparently. So thanks, David, for posting this. I really enjoyed this photograph. Thank you. Here's one by Dragos Ionianu, and Dragos is experimenting with or exploring a new series. Excuse me, a new series of coastal images, coastal long exposures along some coasts in the UK. I have no idea what this is. Probably an old beacon or something that has to do with, I would almost say, like World War II, some kind of, I have no idea. I'm guessing here. I have no idea what this is. But it's a very interesting structure. And again, very minimal composition, probably very close to the rule of thirds, just placed in the frame on the right hand side. Again, by doing that, you're placing it technically on the, the diagonal that goes from top left to bottom right. Making it kind of a little negative, if you would, in my opinion, this is my opinion, and we're talking about composition here. It would have been better on the other side, kind of, for us Westerners. It would, because we always move to the right with our eyes, or at least that's our natural instinct if we read. If you place something on the left side, we will always move to the right, and we will think of that as a positive thing. If you have breathing space on your right side of a singular element, doing it the opposite way, you kind of implying something negative or something, sentimental, or but still, it's a very minimal image. And what I like about this, and you really, really need to, you almost don't see it, but there's a horizon line there too, and I really like that suggestion of that horizon line. I'm like, you almost have to use your peripheral vision, then you see it. The moment you kind of look, towards the edges, you're like, oh, where was this horizon line again? So I like that. It's very subtle processing on that horizon line. The vignette keeps the eye, a little bit centered, a little bit focal, focused on the structure, whatever it is. All in all, very minimal image. Love it. Thank you, Dragos, for adding this. What about this beautiful piece of work by Eric Fredin? This is one of his newer series, Low Tide, I believe it was called, his Low Tide series, or I don't know what he's working on. It's basically, he moved to Vancouver, and I've seen Eric posting a lot of urban minimalistic photographs, or maybe not minimalistic, but every time you see a photograph by Eric, I think one thing, and that is, holy man, is he master of composition. And it's funny, because I know Eric was at one point in his career or in his life, he was actually teaching photography, and his images are so smart, it's beyond words. But you almost have to, without sounding too, you know, you almost have to know a little bit more about composition or compositional techniques to appreciate Eric's photographs. Um, if I show the photographs to my wife, she'll like, "What is this about? This is just like, this is a wall with a, you know." She would just see what's on there, and the images are I find them very spectacular. Um, it shows you that you can walk around in the city where you live in and find awesome little corners of buildings where buildings kind of intersect with the world, or with light posts and stuff. You can really make cool compositions, and Eric is definitely exploring that. On the other hand, he does stuff like this, and oh, man, this is freaking wicked. Um, the colors are all spot on, and that whole wedge idea, the black wedge sticking into this frame is yeah, that is placed on the rule of thirds. The horizon line is obviously higher, but it's all about the wedge. It's all about the wedge, and I'm if I would see this piece on, let's just say, like a 40 by 40 inch print, aluminum mounted, you know, on a wall. Looking at that from a distance, you would almost think like, whoa, is there like a piece missing in this photograph or in this art, this piece of art? That's how dark this shadow detail is, or the shadow is. Lots of contrast, but there's detail in that black, and that's something you would pick up on once you're like getting closer to the print. This is a very interesting image that I really, really like. Thank you a lot, Eric. And Lori Carey posted a tribute to Eric's work, which I thought was pretty wicked. Very much beautiful in every aspect of it. I mean, this is cool, and especially if you see them next to each other, they can almost be a low tide, high tide, fair weather, bad weather diptych, and the subtleness of the colors, the cool wave pattern, the blandness of the sky, something that completely is different than Eric's image. It's almost like a low tide, high tide, composition, or a diptych too. Maybe you guys should team up and and photograph the same scenes or the same sections of sea and see what you guys can come up with. But beautiful work, Laurie. Thank you for adding this. And oh yeah, by the way, yeah, happy birthday, Eric. I believe Laurie said that in her post. Anyways, that were the normal images for this week. Now I do want to show you three exceptions. I want to start with this one by Stephanie Schachtel. I think this is a very smart image because it tells a story. Now, when you see balloons like that, hot air balloons, I always wonder, like, holy man, what if something goes wrong? Where do this, if you fly over a city and something goes wrong, horribly wrong, where the frick do you land, right? You can't simply, land in the middle of a town square, for instance, right? But this image tells that story, I think. Although, very minimal in nature, Stephanie shows a building, houses. We know that this balloon is not flying over beautiful pastures. It's flying over city. At least this is what the image implies to me. And you get that big triangle of balloon in the middle, and then the top of the roof line on the bottom. Subtle tones, not a lot of contrast. Well, there's a lot of contrast, but there's not a lot of there's whites and blacks and not a lot in between. This is interesting. Cool photograph. Thank you, Stephanie, for adding this. Here's a great piece of art, I think, by Oleg. I'm gonna pronounce your name wrong. Sorry, Oleg Perejogan. Really well composed. I absolutely love this. Three things, three items, two walls, sky. You can argue there's two nails, which makes it five. Five items, which is interesting because it's an odd number, but usually, you end up with a good photograph. This is all about lines, diagonals, horizontals, verticals. Well, not maybe horizontals, but definitely verticals, or at least one vertical. And the nails are almost positioned onto in the perfect spot. The tops of the walls are definitely composed to be on the diagonal of the image, and the nails are really in an interesting spot, I think. And the colors are wow. Yeah, that's good work. I like this blue, red. Nice. That's always like an interesting combination because they're complete opposites. And then the interesting sky, and this might seem simple to do, but I can almost guarantee you that it was tough to keep the detail in the sky as good as it is in this photograph. Because I think it was either getting the light on the walls right and overexposing the sky. So I think Oleg really knew what he was doing, and ended up with a beautiful fine art photograph, in my opinion. This would be really cool, nicely printed, pretty large, and maybe, I don't know, I haven't seen Oleg's work, other work, but I feel like there's a series that can be, this almost is a seed image, where a new series can start from. Definitely worth exploring more. Oleg, beautiful work. Thank you for contributing to the team. And lastly, I want to share with you this photograph by Gerard McGrath. Gerard is scanning some old negatives, and from back in the day, and this is a photograph I believe he made in Belgium. It's not why I want to show it to you, but this shows the qualities of a beautiful film black and white negative. This is absolute tonally. I honestly believe that there's nothing that can capture this much, it's almost micro tonality, just like you have micro contrast in an image, in a scene. This is absolutely fantastic, and again, it's about storytelling, right? That's what we do as visual artists. This is this is the story of a window washer, probably, but where is he, or maybe they're cleaning this wall from graffiti. I have no idea, but it's a very interesting image that Gerard definitely noticed. Interesting composition too. And beautiful like I said, beautiful tones. Perfect contrast. Interesting image. Beautiful. Awesome work. Thank you, Gerard. Thank you so much. This was a treat. So, there you have it. That was the Minimal Monday wrap up for this week. A little long. I'm 30 minutes in. Holy. Right, sorry to make it that long, people. Again, no Minimal Monday next week. I'm off. Yes. Or the week after. I'm off too. Yes. Or the 20th. No Minimal Monday. So you guys have 3 weeks to come up with something special. And I'm really looking forward to Monday the 27th of May. Looking forward to what you guys can do with all of your bundled up, you know, how would I say this? Frustration of not seeing me in a video. No, I'm just kidding. But anyways, I'm looking forward to it for a new Minimal Monday wrap up, or a Minimal Monday on Monday the 27th of May. Anyways, thank you all for watching the little video, and I will talk to you guys later.